that sucked.
I'm glad you get that too, because I get that all the fucking time. Just literally like, yeah, you can do better. Yeah, you can do better. Do you like to write while you're recording?
Wait, are we in?
You're in.
Do I like to write while I'm recording? Like,
Yeah.
do I like to write lyrics or?
We can start whenever you want. I don't give a shit. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
it's
just
just
cut
on.
it.
I just put it all on, so
yeah.
doesn't really matter.
Do I like to write lyrics?
Or do you do it beforehand? What's the
Always
process?
beforehand.
Yeah, I love to write lyrics. That's my whole job.
You write no, but like, are you asking me if I like to write lyrics in the studio?
Yeah, some people do. Yeah,
No way, man.
Never.
Snape would be furious because
You
that's
gotta
never
come
happened
prepared.
to you.
you got to come prepared.
It's
No.
not happened to you.
I've revised some things that like
Yeah.
we decided to make some game time decisions around changes, and it was just after we kind of finally record. I mean, we demo everything out. Like the process is, Gabe will write the riffs and the basic song structure, and he'll demo it out in Reaper, and he'll use the drum machine, and he'll create the skeleton of the song, and then he'll pass it to me, and he'll be like, all right, let's get going here. And then I'll like give it a couple listens and try and figure out some, vocal patterns, or like, think of where like the hook's going to go and stuff like that. And sometimes he's just like, this is where the hook's going, man. Like I figured already, like, here's what I want you to do here, because he does the majority of like the songwriting. So
it goes back and forth between you and Gabe a lot of the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll just we'll just like keep passing it back and forth until we get to a point where we feel like,
When
Good
did
one.
Gabe join Raider?
Gabe joined Raider. Gabe
Yeah.
is Raider.
You joined Raider.
I joined Raider.
So then who was you before you?
So before me, it was Spencer.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So
shit.
he was originally the bassist vocalist.
Gotcha.
And then it was originally Kevin, Withers, and Gabe.
The Withers.
The Withers. So it was Gabe and Kev, and they started jamming. Gabe came out from, Milton to meet people and try and jamming with people and figure out like who was kind of sharing the same sort of vision. And he found Kevin, and they started getting it going. They got the hall, and then they were looking for a vocalist. So then I joined. And
Hell
so,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because
How long ago was that?
I was like late 2017, early 2018.
Were you pals before that, or you just kind of found each other?
We just met shortly before that. Shows. Kyle introduced me to Gabe. Kyle Adisi.
Oh, right. You were friends with Kyle before that, right?
Yeah.
I got to have them on.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I want to talk to Kyle in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See
for
what he's
sure.
up to.
Yeah. So Kyle, we were at a show at Maxwell's. I'm pretty sure it was like a Raider show. It was like it was a Raider show. I'm pretty sure it was them opening for.
Can you just put this a little closer? These fellas are fucking.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, just
Cool.
there you go. Yeah.
So, the ASMR.
No, I need better microphones. These are just like.
So Gabe and I met at like a Maxwell's show. Kyle just introduced us. It was literally Gabe was there asking Kyle, do you know any vocalists? And Kyle like physically brought me over to him and was just like, Angelo, I'd like you to meet Gabe.
Did you do band stuff before Raider?
Yeah, but it was all fugazi. Like there was
Okay.
Can you for the viewers at home? What is it?
What is fugazi?
fugazi just means like, bullshit, like fake, like not really, not legit.
Do you know Norm Macdonald?
Yeah, I know Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, he does that. Or you did all that. He was every time. Can you do that Can you explain to the folks at home?
Man. It was a little fugazi. So, no, I just did a couple things. I mean, like the Mississauga metal scene was not really existent, So I had some friends who we'd like, dick around and jam a bit, and we tried getting a few things going, but at the end of the day, I just couldn't find. Yeah, I couldn't find people who like shared the same kind of vision, right?
Yeah,
and
that was it for me too. Like Joaquin as well back there. He was like we were like not part of Alex's crew, and we had our own little thing going on. And then we heard him listening to a band called Fintroll one day, and we were like, "Are you listening to Fintroll?" And we were like, "That's fucking cool." And he was really the only guy we had ever asked to go and jam with, and he actually showed up. Because like,
Snake?
yeah, because like me and Joaquin, I remember like there was like 3 guys on our rugby team who were like, yeah, okay, we can like play some music or something, and they just never showed up. They just like we told our parents, Mom, Dad, you got to get out. There's people coming over. We're gonna be in a metal band now, and they were like, all right, and so they left, and then no one showed up, and it was just like, this is fucked.
Sad.
And like we
Sad
tried
times.
that a couple of times, and it went back and forth. Like, I don't know if this is gonna happen, and then like. Alex was like, just come over. And Alex's brothers had nearly every piece of equipment you could imagine. And they were older than all of us. So they already had like everything you'd possibly need to jam. So we went around there and we were like, holy fuck. But Alex already had a band. So they were called Vinland.
Wow, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. That's actually some Alex lore that I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's Alex lore. Vinland. It was good.
Have you guys
And-
talked about Snape on here before?
No.
Shout
No.
out Snape.
We're building the lore slowly.
The lore,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
we're
lore.
slowly building the lore.
For the viewers at home, you know.
For the viewers at home.
Alex Snape is like a bit of a scene daddy around here, you know. But like an engineer scene
snatty.
daddy. He's not a promoter.
Snatty.
A snatty, yeah. He's not a promoter. He's an engineer. He plays in a bunch of bands, engineers a bunch of bands, records a bunch of people. The real deal.
He is. Yeah. Ever since we've known him, just like, holy fuck, God. Like, we gotta get good.
Guy's got
We gotta
it.
get good. And like, I was gonna play guitar. I had no interest in vocals at all when I first started, and then it was just kind of like, well, I might as well try it. And it seemed a lot less disinteresting than soccer was becoming for me. So I don't know if you
That
played a lot of sports
transition.
in like high school, but like,
Yeah, I played hockey and basketball, but
was
yeah,
it kind of, I
was
don't
the
know what
same
it
deal.
is. It's just like at some point I hurt myself really badly, and I had all this pent up teen angst, so it had to go somewhere. That's kind of how it went for me. I don't know.
Yeah. Similar story actually. Yeah, I
Mm.
broke my arm.
Yeah,
And
it's
then,
fucked.
and then it was just like,
Yeah.
you know, couldn't
Doing
play
what?
guitar. Couldn't play guitar. So
Playing sports.
yeah, I broke it playing hockey. And so then couldn't play sports, couldn't play guitar. So
How'd you
tried
break it? What did you do?
hockey. Just
Like
Did you
what?
get slammed?
Yeah, I
Did you
got
fall?
absolutely clobbered by
I
my
never played
teammate.
hockey. I never did that
No?
one. No. He did, like Joaquin did a lot of rugby. I did a bit of
Me
rugby,
too.
but my back was already fucked from soccer at that point. So
Rugby
I
was
was
a lot of
really, I
fun.
needed to do something. And he got way into rugby, and I went more into music, but now we're kind of on this, I don't know, you know, like gone full circle.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, especially with rugby, like there's only so many years that you can actually like play a contact sport.
Before your brain is fried from concussions and your knees are falling apart. Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was my ankles, honestly. Like I tore my the ligaments in both my ankles several times. So like even now, like I'll still get like clicky and shit like that. But you know, you don't break bones with music for the most part, so that
No.
helps.
Not for the most part.
Unless you're Adam. Adam said we had Teleport Us on last week, and he got so into it. He was like punching the floor at Sneaky D's
Breaks
a while
his
ago, so he
hand.
just had in a cast. It's just
Or like when Randy Blythe from Lamb of God kicked that kid in the head on the stage and he died.
I think
Oh,
you
he
mentioned
threw
this
him
last
off.
time, and then I mentioned
Yeah.
Akon.
Oh, what?
Akon
Yeah.
threw a kid off the stage.
Oh damn. Yeah.
Some black
no.
metal lore.
Yeah, no, you can't throw kids off the stage. You can eat their phones though. You can eat their phones, right?
Eat?
Like yeah, you can eat the fucking phone if it's like they're getting
Who does that? Danzig?
No, Vader did that. So at the Vader show at Lee's Palace,
He ate a phone.
some guys, because there's no barrier at
Yeah.
Lee's, right?
Yeah.
So
No,
like
yeah.
kids were just climbing on the stage and stage diving and stuff and trying to get in close and trying to take selfies like with the vocalist.
I
And,
would get it.
and they were like this, and he was just playing guitar, and he'd just be like, boom.
Yeah, good.
He's like, eat the phone.
Fair enough.
I thought you meant like just fucking eat it.
No,
No,
yeet.
yeet.
Like toss that thing.
Who the fuck's eating phones?
No.
Ah.
That's fucking great. That guy kind of looks like a street shark too.
The singer for Vader?
Yeah. He's beefy.
Looks badass.
Yeah, he really does.
You guys are going on tour, eh?
Yeah, we
Hell
are.
yeah.
Yeah.
California?
Yeah, we're
That's
going all
exciting.
the way to California, finally.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
so,
first U.S. tour.
well, this will be the second. So we did end up going and doing a bunch of dates.
Oh, yeah. You were in like Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Shit.
We did Detroit. We did Wisconsin. We did a couple places.
You said those went really well, right? You
It was
sold like all your
fantastic.
merch in
Oh,
those.
love it.
Yeah,
Love to
it
hear
was
it.
How did that
fantastic.
happen? Like, because like playing shows here is hit and miss. What the fuck happens in the States that's so great? It's like,
They just, they'd
Hammer
never
it.
seen us before, and
Yeah.
they were in. Like,
Well, you guys are great, man. Like when you play live, you do like, it's almost like a party metal vibe in the whole place. But
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
a good time.
it doesn't sound like you have to be drunk to like it, like a lot of that stuff. You know?
Yeah, for sure. No, there's definitely like a kind of like gather my horses kind of feel to it. You know? Like a little bit of that action, right?
Do you want to elaborate for the folks at home?
Well, just like it's a little bit like more.
Yeah.
It's 4/4, right? Like it's not.
Mhm.
We're not playing in off time signatures, right? We're not like doing anything super, technical. I think. And
I think it's honestly for the best because like there's a lot of bands that we came up with here that were like it just gets more and more technical, and I'm like, who's this for other than yourselves? Is like a sort of male peacocking, if you will, like
absolutely.
that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel
Sweeping.
I feel like there's a lot of that, right? Like just guitar masturbation and that's fine, like
I feel like
whatever,
that, yeah.
whatever
You're
you
with it.
dig, right? But if you want to get the people going, you want to get people going together, right?
I think
get
it's
bodies
completely,
moving.
yeah, it's a different thing. It's like going, I don't know, like if you want to go out for the sake of entertaining people, your best bet for people who don't know you is not just doing that sort of thing. It's probably getting them involved, getting them to.
Yeah, I liked it when you used to phlebotomize Michael Agger. When you'd play, you'd like grab his little head and like, that was good stuff.
A little bit of
It
theater.
was fun.
A
Yeah.
little bit of theater, right?
What happened?
They'd
Well-
play that song and then he'd grab somebody out of the crowd and like.
Yeah. Yeah, like cutting his throat or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But
Oh.
it's just some good theater, right? Like I like getting involved with people, I like getting up in people's kitchen a little bit,
Kitchen.
Yeah, getting
Yeah.
a little physical. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely it. Like, I don't know. I don't want to be a performer where like even when the boys are shredding, right? It's like there's still involvement there. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
not just like watch me play guitar for 15 minutes and just marvel at my brilliance, my compositional brilliance here. It's like it's got like something to say. I feel like the leads have something to say.
Well, one thing you're pretty good at is like not just standing there while they're doing something as well. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's a big pitfall for local bands to begin. Like, is like getting over the fact that you don't have anything to do as just a singer. Like, where do my hands go? As a lot of guys would say to me, like, where do I put my hands and shit? But
Yeah.
like,
You could do anything.
You can do anything.
yeah, I remember when I think it was like my third show ever. I felt pretty like awkward, and I didn't have my hair in front of my face. And one guy came up to me. He's like, "Great vocals, but it was distracting that you weren't moving or doing anything." And I was like, "Thank you so much for saying it." Like in the moment, I was like, "That's
Honesty.
a lot," but like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Honesty.
worth
You
it
grow.
because like they paid to see you. You better look good,
No, 100%.
Like Pete Steele
Yeah,
says.
Pete Steele said
fucking,
that.
you got to work out, man. You
Yeah.
got to look good up there.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. Like, yeah, you gotta, stay in shape just to like be able to do anything up there, right? And not
Mhm.
be standing still because,
Mhm.
you're just bellowing for like,
Mhm.
30 to 60 minutes and you got to be able to move at the same time.
Yeah.
Like Beyonce, like,
Yeah.
That's exactly
yeah.
it.
I think it's a crucial part of it. Just being able to sing, especially if people know your songs and you're singing it differently, then it's a bit weird to begin with. Because if they're trying to sing along, it's like, some bands that works for, but I think a lot of like the more entertaining things to watch live, it better be on the beats, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you excited to go back to the States or?
Yeah, really
Yeah.
excited. Yeah.
Mhm.
This time, we're going to be doing like a bunch more and like we're going to be able to really like get to a lot of places that we wanted to get to for a while. And it's just exciting, playing for new people, new spaces,
Yeah.
and new cities.
Who are you
You know.
touring with?
No one. We're going to be playing like a bunch of shows with Invicta
Cool.
and a handful of shows with Warhead from Arizona.
Mm.
They're a fantastic group of guys. And funny enough, we actually have a connection to Warhead through a friend, Ashley Nile. I don't know if you ever met her before, but
I don't think
she
so.
used to live in Kitchener with us, and she used to come out to shows and stuff like that. And she's with the drummer,
Cool.
Michael Allison from Warhead. So yeah, it just was like a funny just connection, right? She moved out
Mhm.
there, and she's been in Arizona for years now.
What type of music do they play? So,
Oh, it's just like more traditional thrash.
Cool.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, more traditional thrash. So Invicta's going to do the first 3 shows and then the last show in Cleveland when we're back. And we're gonna meet up with Tommy from Redefining Darkness Records, who is currently distributing our record for us.
Did he help with the last time you guys went on tour? Is that
No,
the same one?
he's just throwing the Cleveland show. So we're
Okay.
gonna be playing with a cool band called Acid Witch. There,
I love
think,
them. Yeah,
and
they're
I
great.
think
Yeah.
and I think Wraith is going to play with us too at that show.
Cool.
If I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken, they're going to headline that show. And we're going to finally get to meet Tommy, who's we've been working with now for a little bit here. So more to come on that later on. But like, yeah, it'll be cool to meet with him in person finally.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
And Invicta will come down and play that show as well. And then Warhead is going to play the California and Arizona shows with us. So we're playing like Tempe, Tucson, and Palmdale, and like a couple of places in California. They're going to join us there.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hella cool.
There'll be lots of other bands. Like there's a lot of other cool bands that we're going to be playing with, and we will be
Mm-hmm.
playing with in each city along the way. Like we're not just
Yeah,
playing
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
Funny enough, though, something that I wanted to share, which was kind of cool, was that when we went to the States the first time, and we went to Wisconsin and we played in a city called Manitowoc, we played at this awesome place called Pet Skull Brewery.
Pet Skull.
Yeah, Pet Skull Brewery.
Mhm.
And the owner and his daughter, they run the show there, and it was her suggestion to like have a metal night. And there's a really awesome metal community there. There's an awesome band based out of there called Macabre. I don't know if you've heard of them before, but definitely check them out. Cool band.
Macabre.
Yeah, their vocalist Leighton, he did the sound for our show there. How they do it though is it's just kind of like a showcase. So we were the only band, and this was like our first. Like we're nobody, right? Like nobody knows us. So like we just showed
This
up.
is the
here.
one I was remembering you telling me about a
Yeah.
while ago.
Yeah, so we just showed up there knowing that we're going to be the only band, right?
Right.
Like a couple days before, I didn't even realize this. I asked Gabe, I'm like, who's the openers, right? Like, is there any local support? And he's just like, no, I don't know. And we show up there, and it's just like, no, it's just us, right? It's just a one band. You play for like, you do like a headline set, and like no one knew us, right? So it was just whoever shows up. But what it really showed was just that they had built like a real community there
Love
because people showed up. People who only maybe a couple of them had actually like looked us up or clicked on any of the videos he posted or shared around or whatever.
Yeah.
And they just filled this brewery bar kind of room, which is now becoming like also a more common thing too. I don't know if you noticed that like a lot of breweries are becoming venues,
Big
right?
time.
Like you're seeing more and more just like
Mhm.
someone playing at this brewery or that brewery. We played at Shorefinger, which that whole space right
Oh,
now
yeah.
where Civilian is now is
That's
like
right.
that
Yeah.
used to be
Mhm.
a floor, right? And we played there. We opened for First Fragment there.
Yeah, I was asking the fellas about that. They were like, "Yeah, there's plenty of shows here." I think it's something cool that like a lot of these breweries have been able to do because like
Got the space.
yeah, you got the space, and then like a lot of them also just don't even sell in the LCBO at all. Like for for those outside of Canada, that's where you get your alcohol here. So, but like it seems like a lot of people are just going straight to the source with that sort of thing.
But like we needed it too because we lost so many venues
Mhm.
over the course of the last few years. Like it was vacant,
Mhm.
and now there's a lot of new ones popping up.
Yeah, I think it may be a symptom of that for sure.
Yeah.
It's pretty organic, yeah. Like the one down here, Brothers Brewing, is like they just have like a whole calendar of like shit going on. And it's not huge and it's not a big place for like metal, but I know Steve knows a brewer who's like started to put up a lot more like shows as well.
Yeah, he was saying that.
What is that place called?
Fuck.
I don't know.
I
think
can't remember what he said.
I think Scorn's playing it soon. Forget the name of it.
Yeah.
They just did that like
That festival.
indie country sort of festival. I don't
Yeah,
know.
where the sheepdogs were playing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Steve went and like helped out and did sound and stuff. I don't
Oh, boy.
remember. Yeah.
Do you like music like that? Or
Country music?
yeah.
Not really.
No, not into it.
No.
No.
I'm more into like hip hop.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was like my outside of metal.
The
Yeah.
alternative.
You ever heard Lil Ugly Mane?
No.
Oh, you'd fucking love it. You'd love it. He like
The
plays on
Lil
lots of hardcore shows.
Okay.
So who's the other one who plays with
It's
them?
so hit or miss for me.
She's not in.
Like
for hip hop?
She's not
yeah,
so
I
in.
gotta like be in a very specific mood.
I'm
It has
in
to
all
be
the time.
A
I
very
don't know.
specific thing.
Yeah. there's so many different kinds of hip hop, just like
Yeah.
metal, which is what I love about it too.
It's
Like
fucking awesome. Yeah.
just like, you know, East Coast, West Coast,
Yeah.
like UK drill.
Mhm.
I love that stuff. Could
My
listen to it
sister
all
loves
day.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the gym, I'm like, "What are you listening to?" She's just like, it's almost inaudible. Like, just like I don't get it at all, but I like it. I understand why you'd go into it like that, but
There's something about like the Cockney flow.
yeah. What did she say to me the other day? She's like, "Do you have any like good metal recommendations? Like, I have a very specific sound because like it's either like
Ghouls or something, right?
UK like Jamaican drill rap, or it's like what did she say? She said,
Screaming goblins. Or
yeah, she's like something that sounds like goblins, like just
Yeah.
anything that sounds like goblins." And I was like, I'll go on looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goblin sounds.
Yeah, I think if anything, the one thing we tripped the ball on with this podcast already is that we didn't start with that Old Nick band that you
Oh,
told me
yeah.
about.
Yeah, so it's okay. We can listen.
We gotta
can
quit
dig
when
into
we're
it.
ahead now.
We can move into it
We can cross off the agenda items as we see
as we
fit.
speak.
Right.
Joaquin, can you go to Bandcamp Old Nick? What's
When
the
we get that
album
guy
called?
on here, you have to come.
Yeah, you have to come. Can you be like,
You were
the
the
second
guy.
guy with him?
The
Yeah.
guy, listen, the guy The guy is ahead of his time.
He is.
The guy's ahead of his time. It's like it's
the Queen Anne styled furniture.
it's perfect parody. It's perfect satire. It's perfect
It's
mockery.
perfect everything.
Listen, we were talking with Teleportus about all the different dungeon synth things there are. Now you tell me one deviation that hip hop has, and I will tell you 10 that dungeon synth can produce.
Dungeon synth.
Yeah, there's forklift dungeon synth music.
That's so.
There's Jurassic
unbelievable.
Park music for dungeon synth. Yeah. Did you find Old
There's
Nick?
Dark
I
Souls
did, yeah.
dungeons,
I am Vampire Castle. Is
Yeah,
that
that's
the one?
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Or like Rats Part 2.
Well, there's
There's a
an
big
album
long
with like
one.
yeah, the
Yeah,
big
what's
long
the big
one.
long one?
The big long one.
It's
got
got a
like
really-
a castle on it.
Yeah, it's got a
doesn't it?
castle on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's I Am Vampire Castle.
No.
No,
No?
It's
that's
not.
Okay.
Wrong.
Wrong.
The title is
Wrong.
extremely long.
It's absurd.
Okay, let me see.
It might
let me
even
see.
be abbreviated if I remember. Can
The
you
thing
like
about
what?
this
How
guy-
did that happen? How did you
Okay.
find that?
The thing about this guy is that first of all, if you look at the records, he made like 30 records in like the span of 2 years or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, that
he's-
Bandcamp is uncontrollable. Like
He's
you
really like
just
the
gotta
answer
go
for
it.
like he's like hip hop's or he's the answer to hip hop's Viper. If you
Oh,
know
man.
Viper.
No,
My heart.
Viper
it's-
released like 380 albums in 1 year once, which
God.
is like more than one a day in some cases.
It's 1.02, I believe, is the math in that.
Did you find it?
I'm looking for it.
He's
He's got to
hunting.
scroll through all of those albums.
There was a
Yeah.
lot of them, right? Yeah.
There's a lot of albums, but the thing about Old Nick, I think there's a bit of genius here because it's a perfect commentary on the absurdity of black metal culture.
Oh yeah, well all
For
of
sure.
it. Everything's absurd. Everything, as Gabe said, if he was here,
Everything's fun.
everything's funny.
Everything's fun.
You got to make fun of yourself, you know? I love that you can get so much detail and like history and like, you know, refined art and everything, but then you also have to have like, you know, you got to make fun of yourself, you know?
just
Here
like-
we go. Here we go.
If you
Okay,
can't
so
do that,
the album's name, I believe, was
please say.
The Night of the Ambush and the Pillage by the Queen Anne styled furniture,
Yeah.
animated by one of the dozen or so spells that the Eastern vampire has studied.
Okay, can you read
Wow,
off
that's
some
a
of the
mouthful.
songs for us
Yeah,
too?
yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
put up
Track
a
list,
picture.
please.
We're going to blow
Please,
this
please,
guy up.
please.
Alrighty.
With the 3 people listening, we're going to blow this guy
The
up.
one about the library books, my favorite.
Let's see where this
I'd like to put on the record too. This is like one of the first things you ever told me about when we started talking. It was like
You know-
one of the first ones.
The thing is too is
Yeah.
that a bunch of it is not so bad
I'm sure it's great. Yeah.
for real.
Because again, that's the beauty of your average black metal guy is like, oh wow, you can actually play pretty well.
I think that the reason that Old Nick, the mastermind behind Old Nick, is so easily and like just effortlessly able to do this type of satire is because he's
Christ born
he's
again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's an expert at he's a black metal expert. He's
They say
obviously
he's
an
already
academic.
here. He's already risen. I think that's who it
Old
is.
Nick.
Okay, so the first song is called Introduction, Camille Saint-Saëns Danse Macabre.
Okay.
The second two was the self-titled, so
Okay.
it's the album
Yeah,
title.
sure.
I'm not gonna go through
Nah,
that.
you're
No,
good.
you don't have to read it.
That was
read it.
awful.
Number 3.
Number 3 is the Abysmal Chess Master's plate of fruits, figs, cheese, and 3 varieties of apple. The fourth is Properties of the Witch of 1962 in a northwestern coastal town built between the years 1918 to 1947. Track 5, The Witch's Terrible Library Book, due on October 31st, 1756.
That's good.
It's overdue.
Man, that's going to be a mighty fine. There's
No, that's killer.
plat map of the 11th Vampire Lord's domicile. Vampiric Candle Revisited. Smashing the Chandelier of the Meanest Ghost.
Yes, that's one. Smashing the Chandelier of the Meanest Ghost. Fantastic.
How many songs is on it?
10 songs, so there's
Okay.
2 more. So 9th is the 12 Apostrophes of Elizabethan and the Victorian Lamentations. Lamentations with an apostrophe.
Yes. So apostrophes instead of apostles. First of all, like there's a bunch of like Yogi
First of all.
Bear-isms, you know.
Yeah.
Like
And the final one is Weeping Mystery Trench Coat.
That's good.
is there no rats?
No,
Rats
that's
too.
on a different one. You had to go digging for that
Oh,
one.
man.
Because you were like out of the conversation for like half an hour looking for it. And then you went Rats Part 2. And I was like, what? And I'd forgotten what you were talking about. And then I go, oh, this is
Bring it
old
back.
Nick still. Yeah.
I think that there's no Rats Part 1, and that's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
This is just Rats Part 2.
Have you heard of, I think it's Min Kniv?
No.
No.
Oh, that dude, it's either Min Kniv or this other guy, but he wears a witch's hat and does crystal meth.
Oh,
And
right
he's been
on.
to jail several
What a
times.
traveler.
That's funny.
Yeah, so, the next time people say black metal isn't important, try again, sweetie, okay? Like, this is, where else are you going to get your...
That inspiration.
I went
Meth
through like a huge
psychosis.
dungeon synth phase,
Yeah.
and it's almost like that, but just like there's no irony about it for a lot of them. They're just like full in, like, I have a guild where we only trade with each other for cassettes.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that. Let me in. I love the stank of shit. I'm like a fly around horse shit with that stuff. And I was asking this one guy, do you have Witch's Pointy Hat Part 1? Because that's like a cassette.
Is it rare?
Yeah, it's so rare. So rare. I know, and I was like, is there somewhere I can hear this before I buy it? And he goes, no, this is a secret dungeon synth tape. And I bought it because it's like Magic Beans, right? I'm just an idiot. And I put it in, it just sounded like horse shit. It's just so
Garbage.
bad. Just like, I mean, sorry to whoever made that. It's just like, it's nothing musical. It literally just sounds like some sort of like Dairy Queen refrigerator making noises. And it's like, I've been ripped off, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got had.
The thing is, with a lot of like underground black metal tapes, they're either fucking fantastic or they sound like that. And you can't tell if you just have like a dudded tape or if it's just, oh, did he mean to do this? Is this what it's for?
Yeah, it's hit or miss for sure.
Yeah.
What's the fascination with the dungeon synth? Like my only experience with that kind of stuff is playing games like Castlevania or like any sort of dungeon crawler.
So you just answered your own question.
Is that what it is? It's just the tie to dungeon crawler games.
No, that's one thing. That's like, there's like a whole branch of it. So like a lot of them will do that where like this band's like Questmaster.
Yeah.
Or like me and Joaquin do one called Dungeons of Irithyll, which circles around like Dark Souls.
Okay.
It's good shit.
Oh, thank you. And then there's other ones that are more like just like right in the Burzum chain of things.
Obscure,
So like
yeah.
like where it's just the atmospheric tracks off of black metal albums. So it's kind of like selling the marshmallows from Lucky Charms wholesale, So like you don't want all the other shit. I just want the sugary stuff.
Sift through it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's nice. It's like if you like synth music or like Enya,
Ambiance.
you're in. It's fine. Do you like Enya?
Yeah, I like a little bit of Enya.
Yeah. You ever heard that story of that guy from Italy who showed up at her parents' house on a moped?
No.
He was like, I'm in love with your daughter. Show me where she lives. And then they were like, no. And then he killed himself.
Oh.
She lives in like a castle in Ireland and someone broke into her
Yeah,
house.
she's had a hard one.
Damn.
She's just
Making all that relaxing music and you get all the freaks showing up.
Yeah.
It's like Super
Weird.
Smash Bros. There's a new guy every other day to fight in your castle.
I recently saw like I don't know, some content where a guy was comparing a house in Toronto to a castle in Scotland or something, and the property value was equivalent. It was like
That's crazy.
$2.5 million or something.
We've been looking at places in Wales, and it's just
because
like,
we're moving,
shit.
right? And we were
Like
like,
an
fuck.
actually affordable house.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We have a down payment for a house in the UK.
Because I'll go visit family, and I'll be like, "What do you do?" And like the guy's like, "I'm a taxi driver," and I'll be like, "What do you do?" To the wife, she's like, "Nothing." I'm like, "You own a house."
Yeah.
How?
Affordable
And a
property.
nice house. Yeah.
I got 2 jobs, and I can barely afford corn.
Country home.
Holy fuck.
The band
It's
or
rough
the
out
food?
here. Yeah. Both.
Yeah,
Either.
both.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those rare corn cassettes.
Yeah.
Would you rather see Korn play in IHOP or Slipknot play in Chuck E. Cheese? Which one? Go.
I have to see Slipknot in the Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, me
man.
too, for sure. What about
Fucking-
you?
Oh man, Slipknot and Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
for
just
sure.
not a
Fuck
Korn
Korn.
fan.
Yeah.
If Slipknot was playing in the IHOP, you wouldn't care either. You'd go to that one.
I'd still go to Slipknot.
Yeah, I'd go to
rather
Slipknot.
just see them like
I love Slipknot. They're
Yeah.
actually good.
Fucking with like the animatronics and stuff and Chuck
Yeah.
E. Cheese, getting that going.
Yeah. I push my fingers into my ass. It's the only thing that
stops
slowly
the itch.
stops the stink. It's the stink. I said this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we've covered Old Nick. We've covered Slipknot cover bands.
I was I just picked up the sequel to this awesome dungeon crawler game for PlayStation 2.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was I think it was like PlayStation's quasi response to popularity of Zelda. It's called Dark Cloud.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, Dark Cloud.
I've never played it. What's it like?
It's awesome. The gameplay is so frustrating. Like the battle interfacing is so frustrating and like but it's so fun.
You heard
And
of
it's
that
just
one?
such a good
No,
Yeah.
I didn't have a PS2 growing up, but my cousin did, and we played a lot of Medieval. I don't know if you guys ever played that game. It's just
No.
like a little skeleton
I don't know
guy running
dick
around
about
fucking
video
killing
games.
everything.
How
It's so good.
are you balls deep in it right now?
I finished the first one, like, I've played it so many times. It's
Yeah.
just like a childhood game for me, but they made a second one. It was like super stylized and the same deal. They had a fantastic soundtrack. And I think that a lot of the soundtrack is kind of like dungeons. So like every dungeon has like a unique soundtrack.
Cool. Okay.
And it's just both games have fantastic soundtracks. So you might want to check that out if you're
Yeah.
Weird.
What's the
that.
game called again, sorry?
Dark Cloud. And the second one is Dark Cloud 2.
Do you ever play Chrono Trigger?
No, but I've heard this name before, but I never played that
Yeah,
game.
like it's like the main reason people like it. It seems now is like the soundtrack's like the main thing because like no one really knew of it at the time. I think it's one of those games like where you go to a store and buy it if you kind of remember having it, and it's just like so expensive you'd never buy it sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the thing about Chrono Trigger as well is the fact that it was illustrated by one of the main what's it called illustrators for Dragon Ball.
Oh,
from
right.
back in the day. So it's got a lot of that same aesthetic. It's really, really cool.
Oh, okay, that stylization. That's cool.
Like Dragon Quest and shit like that.
Dragon Quest.
Is it Dragon Quest? That's the one. Like
Yeah.
same guy. Yeah. No, I got to try that game then. That's cool.
It actually, I'm looking at pictures of it right now. It looks exactly like Legend of Zelda.
Does it?
Dark
Like,
Cloud?
yeah, like even the guy looks like Link.
Yeah, Toad, yeah. Looks like him. And then in the sequel as well, it's the same deal. It's like it's a spiritual successor. It's not like an actual sequel to the game. It's just
Okay.
like
Yeah.
it's just the same mechanics.
Like a sort of Demon Souls, Dark Souls thing. You ever were you a Crash Bandicoot player?
Absolutely, buddy. Crash.
She was just
Spyro.
asking me about this. I was like, I don't know.
thought
I never played it.
I was like, I don't know. That feels like the vibe. Like I want to try it out now after all of these years.
He just kind of goes ape shit and throws himself into
Yeah.
crates, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a guy with a huge forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Cortex.
upset about something.
Cortex, he's a total piece of shit, man. He's always messing with Crash.
Yeah.
Messing with Crash's girl.
Yeah.
Crash,
Getting them to take the vax.
Oh my god.
Crash and Spyro were two of like the OG PS1 series that I was completely in on.
Spyro's pretty. Yeah.
I never
the
fucking
Dragon.
played that either.
No.
I'm so out of it.
No, you'd like Spyro.
We
I
played
remember that.
Luigi's Mansion a little while ago, and then I
Yeah.
was having like nightmares about ghosts, which
Oh
is
yeah.
unbelievable. That's
We had the same problem. We'd
stupidest
go to
thing.
people's houses who had fucking like Crash Bandicoot
Yeah.
and be like, "Can I play?" And they'd be older kids and they'd go, "Fuck off."
Yeah, my mom had
so-
these friends that had kids, and I remember going over there and being like, "That looks like fun," and they were like, "No."
fucking
Absolutely not.
Can you
You're not
imagine?
touching my fucking
Yeah.
system.
Gatekeeping Crash Bandicoot? Is that what he'd want? You're being a real neocortex or whatever it's
Yeah.
called. You know? Does
Cortex
Crash
is-
have a girlfriend?
He does have a girlfriend, and Cortex is a major short king too.
Short king.
He's a known short king.
If you had to guess his ethnicity,
No. No.
I'm going to go on the record and say Hungarian.
That's fair.
God.
Pretty Hungarian looking. You know, he looks, you know, he's like mad before you've done anything.
He's kind of like Lord Farquaad.
Only Speedos in the
Yeah.
pool.
Yeah.
Like one of those. Only Speedos in pool. No short.
Ah.
And canceled.
Lord Farquaad.
What about Rayman?
Oh, that was a fantastic
That's
game.
a good one. That has good soundtrack
What's
too.
that?
Rayman
one's
is
that?
like he's like a guy who has like a kneecap for a face and he's got
Yeah.
a wig on.
Rayman has like a very funny kind of like Nick Carter sort of hair thing going on. And then he's
That's
got like,
exactly it.
and his
Jesse McCartney.
hands and his feet.
Fuck.
He doesn't have any like arms and
Yeah,
legs.
yeah.
He just has hands and feet that like are magnetically like,
And they kind of flip around. They just kind of flop.
and they let him kind of like reach further than you would, and like
Yeah.
he's a bizarre guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how you'd even describe that. How would you even go about designing it? I don't know, but the rabbits, you know, Rayman rabbits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So those survived, but
Yes.
he didn't. It's one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I never
He
played that
still
one.
has some good games. Like Rayman Legends back in like, I don't know, 2013 or something like that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys ever played that, that was
No.
like a great platformer, honestly.
I played it on the Game Boy. I had this Rayman Game Boy game, and I just remember
Mm-hmm.
like many a hot summer day, traveling in the family vehicle, trying to beat this game, and just fucking losing over and over and over again, and getting so frustrated, and just
Mm-hmm.
it was just one of those games that was just like, you know,
It's bad for it. Yeah.
when you're a kid
Yeah.
and you can't beat a game, it's like a life altering thing, right? It's like
Really frustrating, especially if you're in the car, right? And it's just like, fuck.
the major first world problem. Major
Mhm.
first world
Are we
problem.
fucking there yet?
Not being able to beat a video game in the car.
Or like I tried to bust out my fucking what's it called? Not the SP, not the Game Boy Advance, just like the the wide
The
little
wide
fella.
one, yeah.
And like you can't play it outside. It's
No.
just impossible.
No.
Just completely
You
impossible.
can't. You need that light.
Do you know
need that
Cam
light.
from Becomes Astral? You know, like
Yeah.
the singer. Yeah, he like mods them. So I might take him up on that because I want to be playing that in
You
public.
did.
I want everyone to know that I'm a humongous man child, right? So like we'll be out in the store or something, and she'll be buying us food, and I'll be like, "Shut up!" I want to be doing that.
Yeah, if you want to play it out and about, like
Yeah,
for sure.
especially after a pump, like after an arm day. Just
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting
It's a
a little
great look.
aggressive there.
Yeah.
Publicly aggressive.
Yeah.
It's a good look for you, man. It's a good look for you being one of those guys. You're gonna end up on a viral
Hey,
video.
shut up! It's good clout from Bowd.
Oh yeah.
Local man child yells at girlfriend.
Christ.
There's a bunch of emulators
Yeah.
online that you can play a lot of these old games for.
I don't
that-
think anymore though. They're clapping down on them.
I don't know. I don't know.
Nintendo's being mean.
I don't know. There's like
Meanie.
I was playing the old Pokemon games, like yellow version.
Oh, nice. I just busted out Soul Silver.
Oh yeah.
We got in a
She's
car
pissed.
the other day,
She's pissed.
and he has like this nice button-up linen shirt with like the pocket, and we're sitting in the car, and he goes, flips up his DS, and I was
You're
like,
doing
what
me like that. It's
the-
three cameras recording. You're telling them I'm in my nice linens with a DS in my pocket.
See the DS
got
in
the
the front
Pokemon-
pocket. there.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
did. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
was funny.
I did.
There's something about that handheld. It's like still reading a physical book, you know,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
fucking with a Kindle, right?
Yeah, man.
Not fucking with a Kindle.
No. Do you fuck with audiobooks?
I tried it. I
Yeah.
tried fucking with audiobooks.
In your line of work, or plural, or whatever, like, are you allowed to listen to audiobooks when you work, or no?
Yeah, I work in software, so
Okay.
just
Yeah.
do whatever the fuck you want.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a textile man, so I'll just be fucking screen printing while I go.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can- yeah.
You guys can have something going, right?
Yeah, or if I'm at the museum working, it's just like, just put that on,
My whole job is like social interactions.
Yeah,
I'm constantly
exactly.
talking to people. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Exactly.
the
It's face to
privilege.
face.
Yeah, you can't be doing that so much.
Do you guys fight at Civilian about like having? Or sorry, I should not say your place of.
Oh, no, you're blow it up. That's good for them, right? Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
They
so
just
get your merch done there.
What's the question?
I was gonna ask you guys if you argue over what music plays in the shop.
No, they're all good with that. It goes from like, well, there's like 5 of us in there, and we all like a variety of different shit. So it's just kind of funny when something weird comes on. Like the one guy's really into like goth indie sad girls singing with like that like that with like a little boo in the background. That's funny when that comes on. Because it'll be like right after we're playing like Behemoth or something.
Perfect.
And it's just in the, it's really funny. Yeah.
What's the deal? I've been trying to look into understanding the singer songwriter voice.
Mm-hmm.
You know the singer songwriter voice.
Yeah.
I can't imitate it. I could try.
I think it's easier for girls in their timbre to get it. I don't think it's as easy for guys. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know.
Like the soft sort of sounding. Is that what you mean?
I mean, I know there's like a specific singer-songwriter voice. Like, Joaquin, would you be able to pull that up?
Yeah. Do you want another?
We talking like Billie Eilish type of thing?
No. There's like a specific cadence. There's a specific cadence, and like it's almost like an accent that singer-songwriters. I'm still working on this guy.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, man.
Whatever.
I'm still. Was this like a specific thing that's referred to as the singer-songwriter like cadence?
I don't know.
And if you heard it, you'd know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And it's kind of like the
that
cadence on the end of all the words in the song and the style of the singing. It is like very hush and like just like sing simple guitar. It's like a California thing. I think it's very popular. But
can you give me an example of an artist?
Oh no, like Dngnkvlt.
Oh,
Like the ending of the words is like it's hard, right? Like I don't know how else to explain it. Like, but if you heard it, there's like a million artists that do that, or like maybe a new one would be like Olivia Rodrigo, maybe.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
All right, well let's listen to Dngnkvlt and see what
it's something that was pointed out as like it's like an anthropological phenomenon. It's like just like a subgenre, a style that is pointed out. I don't know where every year.
Yeah. Is this high enough?
Yeah.
This one.
All right, sing.
She's getting there. It's coming up.
Arnar.
Yeah, like at the ending like that. It's almost Australian in a way.
Arnar.
Clara.
Arnar.
I think it's one of those phenomena that has like captured a bit of hate for I don't know, just being a little bit pretentious or something like that. Sure. Like a pretentious vocal style.
That's definitely the stuff I'm talking about that he'll play. Yeah. It's good.
That's what I was thinking when you were saying.
Yeah. I don't mind it.
There's a ton of good stuff.
Yeah. No, a lot of pop punk. The only one that grates at me is when because I'm only there every once in a while, but it'll be like at Christmas time. Mm-hmm. Like I'll do like a few months on and off every once in a while with Civilian, and like at Christmas time it's very funny because they'll listen to Christmas pop punk.
Oh, fuck. Rum-pa-pum-pum.
Me and my drum.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like no. But they're like they're being ironic, like they get it's awful. Yeah. But like they'll just keep it on. That's fine. Like there's so many Spotify playlists for Christmas pop punk, and it's not. I don't think it's doing anything for society that's good. No. Personally,
goes pop punk phenomenon. The goes pop punk phenomenon. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like anything goes pop punk.
Yeah.
It's just. I think it's just like a novel like content generating tool. You know, you can just like. If you're missing like a clip for that day, you can just be like, all right, well, we're gonna just make something go pop punk, and that's gonna be our clip for the day or something.
Clip for the day on like a website or
like your TikTok or something like that, or like your reels for your band or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Like or a lot of like artists will, I see will do that. Like independent artists or smaller artists will. Yeah, they're just trying to generate content, right? Because that's their chosen path. They want to like this is how they want to get there. This is how you want to make it. It's like by doing the content saturation pathway, right? Some artists who do that, like it's just brutal. It's hard to see, but some artists who do it are fantastic, and it's like they're definitely getting there because of it. Like Cheney Crab from Entheos.
Yes, she's so sick.
She's been grinding I've been seeing her clips for years and years, and finally they broke through and are really doing the real thing now, to the point where it's like they're, I think, on everyone's radar, and they're a fantastic band. She's a fantastic vocalist.
Is that like Australian radar?
No. Entheos is American, I'm pretty sure.
That first time I saw them, she was doing a Dngnkvlt cover, and it was sick. Yeah,
she's good. She does just like
I've
these quick
watched
vocal
it 100
clips.
times.
Yeah, she'll just do like a little cover clip or something like that, or a clip from her own song. And the band Entheos, there's like a progressive sort of death metal with, you know, it's a little bit more like bass droppy, a little bit more like a little bit more technical. But it's super rhythmic, and it still, I think, has that sort of like danceability to it. You know what I mean? Like, I still think that like metal that has that danceability is just a lot sexier and a lot more accessible, and it makes it's, if that's what you're looking for to make that experience for people, right? To get people moving. Just going back to that, I think that that's the spot where you want to be.
Yep.
Another band too that had that characteristic, I felt, which is, I think, not as common in black metal, was Black Braid.
Yep.
So they opened the show for Cattle Decapitation and Dark Funeral at the Phoenix, and the sound in the Phoenix is fantastic, and they just sounded fantastic. I know it's just, I believe it's just the one guy, right?
Yep.
But
I think he's pretty close to here. He lives in the mountains of New York.
New York City.
Yeah.
So we were thinking of asking him to come on.
That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic, and I believe that like a lot of the music is centered around like a lot of indigenous mythology, right? Like and that's, I think that's really cool. Like I was just looking at some of the lyrics for the previous release, not the new one that just dropped. They just dropped a record too. He just dropped a record. And or it's coming out soon, and it's just people who I know who like you, Sarah, who would just have the record, who tell me that they've listened to it already, and I think that it's dropped, but no, you're just special and you get the record sent to you to review or whatnot.
That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, so I don't know. There's been a couple of cool releases this year so far. That's one that I'm looking forward to hearing when it finally.
The Black Braid one?
The Black Braid release.
Yeah. I think you released a music video for one of them.
Yes.
It was pretty. It was good. I like it.
How'd you feel about the new Cattle Decap?
I like it a lot.
Okay, good.
I like it a lot. I think it's even better than Death Atlas. I think it's better than Death Atlas in my opinion.
I think so too.
There's just something about it. There's just something about Dave Otero's production. It's just too heavy, man. It should be illegal to be that heavy. Like, there's just something so thick and powerful about it. And every moment, I think, is thought of. Like, they don't just layer on production and then just kind of like listen to how it sounds across the whole record. They're focusing on these moments, on these climaxes in every song, and being so intentional about them. So every bass drop and every vocal layering,
it's so important. Yeah.
It's so intentional, you know, and that's what I'm about, man. Like when you're sitting with your record and you're making your record, that intentionality, and you can smell that on a record.
That's what I mean by the stank, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Remember?
Like, you need that stuff. Like if like I didn't like whenever we record with my friend Zach for Hearsay, we're gonna be doing another one soon with the guy from Finland, Juho, and he is always so good with the descriptions, and like that helps us get what exactly he's talking about. So like he'll be like, I need the bass to sound like a corpse that's been thrown off a wagon on the side of the road, and we're like, what are you talking about? But it really does add to it, because then you go and look for that like
yeah, it helps when you speak the same language with each other too, right? And in terms of that, right? Like you can just say things like that, and then the response is what you're looking for, right? Like
it's not taken too seriously, and it's like
absolutely, you know, like Snape would be like, no, a little more gargoyle on that thing, you know what I mean? And it's like, all right, boom, we're
get the pepper in.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Sarah? You had something there?
Remember when we saw them play with Suffocation?
Cattle Decap?
Yeah, and it was like Frank's farewell tour.
Yeah.
That was the best show of my whole life.
Lee's Palace.
Yeah,
that was fantastic. Suffocation, I've never heard them sound bad live.
Suffocation? I've never actually heard them live. I don't think I've ever seen them. No, not my style. But like, I like it. She listens to a lot of it, and I'm like, I'm in. Yeah. If I found it when I was younger, I would have been, full in. But like
the Hobbs, he's one of those guys that like it's that rhythmicness, right? Like it's a lot. It's very technical. There's a ton of fast technical stuff, but the rhythmicness, it just like makes you want to move your ass, man. It makes you want to move around a little bit, and so it really gets going.
It's definitely one of the things, like a lot of like the folk metal and like black metal that I grew up with. Like Nails is like the stank of everything. Just like they get every little creak in the cabin and stuff. I love that shit. It's so good.
I'm like now going through a folk metal phase, and I'm way too old to be getting into it. It's like one of those.
Yeah.
Thank
One
you.
of those situations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll just show each other that stuff. Because when I was younger, it was always just like black metal. And she listened to more of the death metal, so we get to swap those now. Swap and spit.
Yeah. Well, dude, definitely
Swap
delve into
and spit.
Suffocation. Delve into Suffocation. Some of the older stuff, the production is more old school, but like Of the Dark Light, their
That's
their
a
last
great
record
album.
with Frank, great record. It's like, and that they finally crossed into like, it was one of those records that they crossed into that more polished production.
Well, I think it's just maybe an underrated version of, or an underrated portion of creativity is like that sort of looking into other people's work in a way where you're almost like being scholastic about it. I missed that so much. When I was a kid, I would just be like balls deep in like anything, like obsessively looking into all the lyrics, all like the pictures. Where'd they do this? Where'd they do that? Who's this guy? Who's that guy? And like for years, I think I forgot how to do that when I was like working on my own stuff. And now I've gone back to that. I think going back to your other question about why people love like the dungeon synth shit, it's all that. It's all lore. It's all like, well, how did they do this? Like, what are they doing and why and shit like that,
Yeah.
It's so important for music, I think, because like if I can read the lyrics along with it, I'm just so much more tied into it now. And like even like bands like Periphery, I think I'm like super into that stuff, but I think I wouldn't be nearly as in if I didn't like them as people as well. So like watching them like on YouTube and like watching their like consuming their other stuff that they put on like YouTube and shit and seeing how funny those guys are, that makes me like them even more. It's so important.
That's interesting. Yeah, like I think that people can go either way with that one. Like I know some people that are like, do not meet your heroes, and I know some people who have recently spent some time touring and stuff like that, who may have met a lot of their heroes, and unfortunately it kind of like shatters a lot of that nostalgia.
For sure.
Right?
Oh yeah, I've had that for sure too. Yeah.
So it can go either way for sure. I guess depends on how
not so
expert
much
they are at
meeting.
content.
I mean more like just like looking into what else they've done,
Witnessing
and like
them as humans.
Yeah, witnessing
outside
like,
of their work.
I think why it's so important, why me and Sarah wanted to start a podcast like this, is just like not so we can speak just about music, but just say what else other people are about. Like what other sides of you are there. It makes the music so much more integrated into who that person is, and I think a lot of people really enjoy knowing who that person is.
Yeah.
Like if I watch other podcasts of like people and what they do, I might not have ever been like asked to ever go near any of their stuff. Like I've had that with authors before. There's a guy called Stephen Pressfield who did the War of Art, it's called. And I wouldn't have like gone near that, but I stumbled across a podcast with him on like Spotify somewhere a while ago. And the whole book's premise is just like how to become more professional about how you're greeting the potential of like inspiration. So a lot of people will sit around and not want to do anything, but if you show up, is his whole philosophy, you will find inspiration. Like you'll like it's so overrated to just wait for that shit, and just like going into a practice space as a musician and like going and like hanging out with your friends and getting to know them. You just get to know the language. You get to know, your group's just kind of like our group. Like we have such like lingo that only your group will know, right? And it's a product of like male demonism, it's called, where it's like everyone outside the circle doesn't know what we're talking about, and like it makes it so that music can grow with itself,
Yeah, but even like with what I do, I look at so many bands on a daily basis, and it's just like people in bands, but there's no depth past that. So whatever it is that they've created, or who they are, what they're into, the turmoil that they've faced as a band.
Well, I didn't even think
of that. As a creative person, you just don't know.
I didn't think of it from like a position of like, if you're not even in a band, like just the amount of shit that is probably hurled at like people in like PR and production positions where it's like, I'm not going to have time. I'm not going to listen to this. You're like every other thing I've gotten an email from today. But like, if you can put yourself in a depth and like if you can like kind of forefront like something deeper and understand, like they can see that there's more to it than just that thing. That seems to help a lot of the monotony for the PR side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I hear a lot of that from other people who I know who do reviews or who do any sort of like assessment for music. They'll just get spammed with, from PR firms.
So many
all
of
over.
us. There's so many bands
but
now.
like, I want to know who they are as people, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm looking at a band, it's like, oh, formed in 2010 from the Bay Area, California. I'm like, great. And there's 100 other bands like that. But like, what sets you apart? I want to know. I want to talk to people.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
I hear that.
Yeah. I want to find out.
Well, yeah, because it goes even beyond a band, because it just kind of becomes like, are you a cool person? If you're a cool person, you'll find cool people. If you're cool people, you'll form cool art. And then if other groups see you creating cool art, it's going to rub off on their art. And then now all of a sudden you have a little microcosm culture, like a Kitchener scene, like, or a Guelph scene. And then you can merge those. And then out of nowhere, it becomes like, it's the same with all art forms, right? Like you just have these things that like kind of mimetically connect to each other to the point where people can say, oh, like East Coast style rap or like West Coast style, like there's a lot of that shit everywhere.
There's definitely the pros and cons to that, having that ecosystem, because like you said too, right, it's almost like you develop like a dialect and then it becomes tougher to kind of cross over with other ecosystems where there could be valuable collaboration, right? Like, you mean
like creating a border between you and them sort of thing? Yeah.
Like with Snape, for example, right? Like Alex Snape recorded both of our records.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He recorded Guardian of the Fire. He mixed it. He recorded Trial by Chaos. And we had to spend a lot of time together. Mm-hmm. And so it took time, like, for him to like pick up on all that, right? And for us to kind of like cross over our worlds.
Sure. And
to break out of that sort of ecosystem that's almost like, I guess,
the merger.
Almost sort of like that, like, ascetic sort of temple that you build, right? Like, it's like you're kind of isolated.
Yeah.
From
other groups.
From those groups creatively, right?
Yeah.
Like, which I think it has its value, right? Because that's how you kind of like bunker down and do exactly what you were discussing before, which is like finding that inspiration.
Yeah, and I think that's a funny thing that people do, right? You get to a certain size of empirical, like moving outward, and then people go, okay, that's the border. But like, you don't need a border, right? Like, you can keep going with that stuff, and like any sort of like taglines people put on things, like, let that be in the hands of fans. But it's not your job to instill that. It's your job to break that. I think as an artist is like,
absolutely, I agree, and I think that that's one of the toughest questions the toughest type of question to answer when you're being interviewed by someone about your music, is when they start asking you to like, describe and nail down certain inspirations or certain elements of music, to describe it to them. Like, you're asking me to describe, like, listen, like the music speaks for itself.
Well, but there's a reason we say that, right? Because it's beyond language. You can't just like, it is a lazy question for sure. And like another part of what we discussed when we started this thing is just like, I know you've done tons of PR campaigns, and like, I get to a point in them all the time where I'm like, what are we paying for here? It's just like, there's like 3 or 4 different fucking dudes on webcams who get no traction asking me, questions. When did you start the band? I was like, fuck off, man. Who cares? You don't even care. No, you don't even care though. Like, it gets to a point where it's like, what are these questions? Like, why do we need questions even? Like, people will figure that the fuck out themselves if they want to listen to this.
Yeah, I think that PR, and there's nothing wrong with this, right? That PR has organically become a sort of adjacent system to social media, in the way that like it's pretty much about how many eyes you get on your content per unit time, and that will translate to your value. It doesn't matter necessarily what you ask, right? Like I don't think it's an advanced enough ecosystem. I don't think the art of it is as advanced enough as a lot of other people like give it credit. Like in terms of the interviewing.
It's piss poor for the most part. Yeah,
I think
you get some really good guys out there.
Yeah, I've had some great interviews.
Oh,
I've had some great interviews.
There's some really fun ones we've done. Like, I don't want to shit on all of them. There's like, I would say most of the time when we do it, it's about a 50-50 split between people who clearly want to listen and are like really enjoying a talk. And then there's others who are just like, I just need a piss and I want to go do whatever else.
You're going to get that, right? You're going to get that, right? I mean,
just don't interview. Like, why are you into like, if you don't want to know, don't ask, you know?
Yeah.
I'd be fine. I'd rather you not give a shit. I'd rather you be like, I hate this. I'm not listening to this. Okay.
Yeah, there's just something about being read at, like having questions read at you off of like a piece of paper.
Yeah, it's pretty demeaning. Yeah.
It almost
retarded.
Feels a little bit.
I'm not in.
I'm not in for that.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, what it shows is like you were so nervous for this that you needed to prepare like the stupidest fucking questions for it. You know, it's just like, I have to get through this. This is now, it's just so anti-creativity.
I think a lot of it comes from people who aren't creating outside of what they're doing either. Like they have no experience in making their own music or like having their own creative outlet other than interviewing a band. And then like, what do you ask when you don't know that feeling or that?
Yeah. And
right.
That can go either way too. Cause like I have some really good interviews under my belt with people who just have no clue what they're asking, but they clearly want to know.
Right.
You know, but then there's others who are like, what?
That's why I have a lot more respect for what you do, what like Pedro from AMP Reacts does. I think because there's a big difference between trying to I think make overarching statements about what you think a particular record is about, a particular song is about, and the objectives, and just describing organically your experience with that music. I think that is the most authentic type of review, and I think that as opposed to just trying to make like this overarching thing and start comparing apples to oranges and comparing it to other records and things like that.
Yeah,
I think we do a lot of that in metal. We do a lot of like sounds like ism, you know what I mean, where it's just like when someone asks you about a record, your first instinct is to be like, oh, it sounds like this, or it's just like this light, or it's, you know, it's this ish.
It's a very conservative field in art. It's very conservative in the way that they go about like, what is this, like how do I process this? And like maybe that's a lot to do with like insecurities from a lot of younger metalheads, where it's like they kind of, you want to look a certain way to show people that you're a certain way so that you don't have to really defend yourself in like a high school scenario or something like that, where it's like, yeah, like even myself, I remember when I was in like grade 9, like as soon as you start wearing metal shirts as opposed to like, you know, West 49 or whatever the fuck, like if you start wearing more of that and you get less people like interacting with you and they're like, oh, well, you used to be so like, you know, talkative, and like very strange questions like that, like, oh, what are you doing, like, you know? I think, but that's like it's almost like a costume maybe in some ways, and I think that gets built into a lot of shy fellas' heads where they don't really want to go beyond a certain thought process, where it's like, this is this, like black metal is this because this is me and this is who I am, and like you're fucking with who I am now because this is who I am.
Yeah.
Where it's like you've extended your personality into the hands of other people to the point you're going to be upset when they do something different. Maybe.
No, that for sure. There's a bit of a loyal to the soil kind of mentality with metal in that way, where it's just like you can't really separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, you shouldn't like, I don't know, like gatekeeping gets a bad rap too, which is a hot take, you know, but like, you know, there's some things where it's like, okay, if you want to keep this traditional, there's something to be said about it, but like you should let other people not do that at the same time. You know, there's room for all of it. It's all art at the end of the day. And so it gets like a very conservative sort of personality type, I find a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Not really willing to switch out of the binary sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that the reason a lot of a reason a lot of the gatekeeping attitudes in metal exists is because of the oversaturation of content, which exists in every medium, I think. But I think people are just getting increasingly frustrated with having to like dig into, you know, a certain volume of content to find something that they want to listen to. So it's like, you know, so people love that, you know, there's black metal, death metal, thrash metal, you know, symphonic metal. Sure. They love those clear boundaries because then it lets them know like what I'm getting into, right? And then if you say anything else and you challenge that, then it's like, wait a minute, no, like you're breaking my house of cards, right? Like you're ruining my little sandcastle here, right? Like
that's right. And like, you know,
there's no problem with that. I'm so libertarian when it comes to that kind of crap,
yeah,
man.
of
like,
course, that's
care.
what I mean. Like if you want to gatekeep that stuff, fine, that's okay. But like,
people can make whatever they want. Like that's the thing, that risk taking, you know, for every 100 like Fugazi attempts to try and create something new and try and pioneer, you know, that's how many attempts it takes to get that one like diamond in the rough.
Of course,
that one kernel, right? So
that's why most of the time, when it doesn't work, right? It's like you're throwing spaghetti at the wall a lot of the time for like when you're trying to create something new. And like if you're trying, you're already on the wrong path. Usually it's like you should be experimenting. It's different. You don't want to be trying to look for something new. You're probably not going to make that.
Yeah. And then I don't also think that there's any problem with like poking fun at that or criticizing that in whatever way you see fit. If someone's making art, right? If you're making art,
it's critical.
If you're public facing, like you have to be like people are going to say what they think about what you're creating, and you have to be ready to take that.
Yeah.
You have to be ready to hear whatever people have to say about your performance, your art, whatever you're writing.
I love it personally. I remember one of the first things we got was like a Russian metal forum where they were like, this guy sounds like a dying boar. And I still don't know if he meant that in a good way or a bad way, but I'm like, I'm in. I love that. That's great. Yeah. You know, it's just funny. Yeah. And then you get a lot of it with unbowed stuff, which like, where it's just like, this isn't symphonic black metal. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, I think you guys are a great example of that, where there's a lot of crossover happening.
Yeah, we like to have fun, you know, just like fuck. If it sounds nice, fuck it.
There's a lot of crossover, but that's how you get to pioneering, right? That's how you get to pioneering.
Yeah, so I think it's through fun. Yeah, like you need to have you need to be a child to enter the kingdom of heaven, right? Yeah. Like you need to have that in your mind. You need to
curious mind.
Yeah, you need to be ready to be, you know, just play. You have to have the play, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Be ready to be made fun of and make fun of and have fun all together doing that, you know?
Yeah.
That's
Those
fine.
are the scars. That's fine.
Exactly.
It's a lot better than, to quote Kiss, it's never too late to work 9 to 5, you know? Because God gave rock and roll to you.
Amen.
You guys have a guy too, right? Like on your album covers, like the guy.
A guy.
Yeah,
the guy.
The guy. He's gonna stick around with it.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe.
I love the fella. I like the guy. He's a cool guy.
The guy has made it through 3 releases.
We've got a guy too. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys do have a guy.
Invicta has a guy.
Do they?
No.
Maybe?
No.
Invicta has no guy.
No.
Invicta has. On the Executioner, there is like an Executioner guy.
I love all the art you guys use though. It's super fucking
it's good stuff.
Bombastic.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Do you have your problems?
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the guy. I don't even like my own band name, bro. I joined after it was already Raiders, so I didn't have a say in the matter.
What would you call it?
Oh, I don't know. I have a couple of
Angelo and the Raiders?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. It was not one that really like stuck out to me. I think that Gabe came up with it. I think it was just
Ange and the Fugazis.
There's there's going to be my name will not appear anywhere in there. Ange and the Fugazis. Fugazi. No, I don't know. It's just it follows the thrash metal tradition, I suppose, right? Which is a pigeonholing thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
sure.
any ER band name, you're gonna get pigeonholed as thrash, and if you don't sound like
I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Slayer, you know.
Sure, yeah, I can see that.
Like, there's just so many band names. Creator, Slayer,
although that's
Exhorter.
Creator, isn't it?
That's same deal.
Same deal.
It's phonetically the same, right?
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
But
I went to a Creator show when I was super young.
I've never seen them.
One of the first places where I was like, this is a violent area. You know,
Yeah,
like
man.
you know that like the back of your head feeling where you're like, people are getting ready to go, and then there was like punching in the pit and stuff. It's just like
I don't even know them.
The
I just know
creator?
Kyle Adisi really
Yeah,
likes them. That's all I got.
Yeah.
That's one of like our.
I saw them with Accept like years ago.
Oh, Accept is so good.
Yeah, they're great.
But not with Udo Dirkschneider. Was it not with? They was with their new singer because Udo Dirkschneider.
What does he look like?
It's kind of like a thumb. He's kind of looks like a little kingpin kind of guy.
Was he
Right on.
bald?
Yeah.
Okay, this was 2011 or 12.
He's so good, man.
2013 maybe.
Kyle and I saw Udo Dirkschneider playing with his band, right? And he played some Accept songs, like he played Balls to the Wall and stuff like that. He's such a good singer.
I think I did see him because he was a bald dude.
Maybe Udo was singing for them still at that
Maybe.
point. I don't remember the timeline.
Okay.
But anyways,
they were
creator,
awesome. They were great.
creator,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a huge influence, I think, on a lot of like the music that you hear from Invicta and from Raider.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely more Invicta. Gabriel has such an interesting mix of influences, I think.
Are you guys best friends?
Me and Gabe?
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
he's my boy.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he's my dog.
Bonded.
A lot of
Yeah.
bands don't like hang out. You know, I know a lot of bands where it's just like, no, we just kind of
Yeah.
we play the music, but you guys seem to hang out.
Yeah, you lived
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, we lived together for quite a few years.
that's right. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I think you should be able to do that as well.
Yeah, there's just like you said, right? There's a bit of that ecosystem aspect to
Mhm.
it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the reason that a lot of our ecosystems don't collide, right? Like think about it, we're not that far from each other. Like the Guelph and
yeah.
Kitchener, Waterloo
Mhm.
ecosystems are not too far, but if it's just far enough, right? It's
Mhm.
still like you can't just go to each other's door. Like even for us, it's like everything's so far apart. You know, we gotta travel 20 minutes to see each other from Kitchener and Waterloo. And
It
But
is
I-
fucked, man. Like the guys I know in England, it's just like they're just right next to each
everything's 5 minutes.
other. Everything's 5 minutes.
Everything's
Yeah.
fine. We have this saying, Kyle and I, like we
Yeah.
want to move to Europe because everything's just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we were just saying. All three of us, we're on the way.
Just
So,
like hop over to Greece for a week
yeah, man.
from the UK. Easy.
Fuck, I need to go to Italy. I've never been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, go.
Same.
So when do you leave?
End of October.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah.
we got a wedding to go
going.
to, and then we're fucking off.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands we want to interview over there.
Oh, for
as well.
sure.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
but the fucking irritating thing about British bands, they like you'll be like, I'm here, and to us, because we live in Canada, it's like no time at all, right? But they'll be like, that's miles away, mate. And it's like, no,
Fuck,
it's
dude.
not. It's like
I drive
it's an
like
hour.
7 hours to get to Montreal.
Yeah.
That's like.
But they're
what?
looking at the map, right?
Yeah.
And they're like,
They're all Toronto people.
Fucking hell,
Yeah.
man, that's fucking miles away.
Yeah.
It's not. Just get in the car.
It's a Toronto mentality, man. It's a
Yeah.
Toronto mentality.
Are they like that there?
Yeah.
Toronto? Yeah.
Toronto.
If you
like,
if you live in Guelph or in like any GTA city, right, or now adjacent
Yeah.
GTA adjacent city,
they won't come see you.
people from Toronto, it's like anything past the subway line is just like this uncharted territory for
Yep.
them.
You know what? It might be that because I don't know if they have cars. Most of these guys that I know,
Yeah.
it might be that. Actually,
be
now
fair,
come to think of
I
it might be that.
Don't want to be the one to go there either. Just because like driving into Toronto is
In
heinous.
Toronto, yeah, I'm not a fan of Toronto. Anthony
Heinous.
Bourdain didn't like Toronto.
That's
And
fine.
that's why I don't like it.
because Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah,
liked
Anthony
it.
Bourdain.
He was
is- I'll listen to anything Anthony Bourdain tells me.
Hot take. I love Toronto. I
Yeah?
don't miss it. Yeah. I mean, like,
No,
I
I
grew
wouldn't
up,
have told.
Well, you're like
you're
from
in
the
your
GTA,
Drake
right? Yeah.
Raptors
Yeah.
sweater. I love Toronto.
dude.
No, I like Toronto.
I had a
I'm
good
just
time
joking.
when I lived there. It
I
was a
do
good
like.
time.
Yeah, it's
It was a
nice
good
there.
You lived there for like
2
a year,
years.
2 years.
Yeah.
That's where I met her.
But-
It was like nice, just walking around. Everything's
Yeah.
there. It's good. I like that city.
Everything's
I
5
don't
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I felt like a bird in a cage. Like anything past the subway line, like I couldn't get to, right? I didn't have a vehicle.
Did you grow up
Just
there,
kinda
or
stuck
it's-
there?
I did. I grew up in the GTA and various places in the GTA.
Mhm.
Rexdale was like the most Toronto,
Mhm.
like super ghetto Toronto.
That's
And-
where one of my besties is from.
That's where the wedding is in Rexdale. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Erica.
Oh, interesting.
Is
Oh,
this-
yeah.
he's a Slav.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rexdale, Mississauga, Brampton, just general GTA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Etobicoke.
No, I love it. If I wasn't around here, I'd miss it. Like just
Yeah.
being
For
an
sure.
asshole, you know? Yeah.
When you're in it, it's not the same as when you're like romanticizing it from a different spot.
Yeah.
Maybe that's true of everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Who knows? You can move to the UK. I could move to Italy and then become almost immediately disenchanted with
Yeah.
the place.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, for sure. Like it'll be fucking raining out, and she'll be like, God, it's been raining for 2 days. And I'm like, motherfucker, you're moving to England. It's like every
You're gonna be
day
miserable.
there. Like every day. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop.
I refuse to accept it.
But
Yeah.
there's something to be said about a little bit of precipitation over months of abject darkness.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Yeah,
months
that's a
of
good
like pizzas
point.
that cost $25.
That too.
Pizzas that cost $25 here in Italy,
Yeah.
you can get the
Yeah.
best pizza you've ever eaten for €5.
Someone sneezes and you get a fucking pizza
Buddy,
there.
it's like hard to
Unbelievable.
it's hard to find bad food when you're in Italy.
Mhm.
Like if you're just it's throwing darts blindly at
Yeah.
the wall kind of thing.
I mean, Eastside Mario's must be like McDonald's there.
There's no Eastside Mario's in Italy, buddy.
What?
I listen. I hate to break this to you, man.
Yeah.
There's no Eastside Mario's in Italy, buddy. There's no unlimited
Why
garlic
do people
breadsticks.
go there? Oh, Little Caesars, right? That's where that started.
Right.
Rome. Little Caesars.
Oh God, no.
On God, on God.
They just got It's funny. They just got the first Starbucks in Milano. So
Are they all pissed?
Milano got us. Dude, the lineup was down the street
Really?
and around the corner, bro.
Fuck, I would have thought they'd be mad at that. That's like a
Yeah.
France move. They get pissed when things like that come in.
It was like Iceland and McDonald's.
Yeah, Iceland ran McDonald's out. They just shunned
They
them.
brought it in
No
and then
one went.
nobody went.
No one went.
And they got rid of it.
Actually, some
Interesting.
potato farmer was like, "I'm starting a restaurant," and they all went there instead.
Yeah.
What do they like? What
You'd
would they
support
serve at like an Icelandic McDonald's? Because you know how every McDonald's,
McRock. Yeah,
but you know how every McDonald's in
Yeah.
its respective region
Yeah,
Yeah.
has a specialty dish that's
Yeah.
like it's probably a regional dish.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or
Maybe like-
smoked fish or something like
yeah,
that.
like Sweden maybe has like
Piss
or
shark?
Norway has like surströmming sandwich or like something like that.
like Swedish meatballs or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is stressing me out. This is stressing me out. I'm gonna put that there. I don't
Yeah,
know
I forgot to curl them this time. I was in a.
Didn't wrap 'em up.
Yeah, I was in a rush.
Yeah, this could be an under the table rap guy.
It was
right?
supposed to be, but I didn't. So if you'd like to,
You know what?
Yeah,
I'm
point
not-
some
I'm
more
not gonna-
things out. Yeah,
I'm not going to talk shit about your setup. You guys have a fantastic setup here.
Thank you.
yeah, the
Okay.
rape dungeon.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's going to be fantastic. I'm sure you're going to have plenty of good podcasts down here.
This is actually the last one we're breaking up after this. So. Yeah.
Did you know about that?
Closing time.
So-
I just thought of what they'd sell at the Icelandic McDonald's. It's the piss shark that they
Yeah,
sell.
I said that.
the piss shark.
Yeah, make
Sure.
piss shark. Hans,
eat,
no
like-
one is buying a piss shark.
Fermented
We'll have to
Greenland
close.
shark. But they have to ferment it because the
Yeah.
flesh is full of urine.
You'll
or some
die if you
shit.
eat it without it being fermented.
Wait. They eat that thing?
Yeah.
Yes, but they
Yeah.
can live to be like 400 years old, which is
I didn't know that they ate those things because they had
Yes.
such a slow gestation period and stuff
Right.
like that.
Yeah. When we went there, I saw the store where you could go and buy it.
Yeah, we walked past it.
And, it costs like the same as like a cup of coffee here now. So
Just get a little bit of piss shark.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. Everyone says that Iceland is like so expensive. But it's
It's like
really
Southern
not
Ontario
compared to
now.
here now. It's the same fucking thing. It's just like we went there and we were like, we ate out every night because it's just the same thing here. So we might
Yeah.
as well enjoy it. So
It's a stereotype for islands.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, the import
Yeah.
cost.
I never thought of that. It must be that sort of thing. Yeah.
It's like Australia.
Yeah.
Australia.
I lived there for
Different.
3 months.
So you know what's up.
Yeah.
It's like
huge
$20 beer.
cockroaches.
Yeah.
Fucking unreal cockroaches. I hated it.
That was the least. That's like seems like the least of like.
Well, my friend there,
your
like he was
concerns.
in Melbourne and I was in Canberra, the capital. That no one they all pretend it's not the capital there, and it's a bowl city. So like it's all outback for miles, and then you have this little city in a bowl, and they have unreal amounts of rain there. So it would just shit it down for a whole night. And when you'd go outside the next morning, everything from the bush would have come into the bowl. And so it was just like giant centipedes, giant cockroaches, everything. And like I took a picture of it for him and I was like, look at this fucking giant centipede. He's like, that's not giant. And then he sent me a picture. He's like, that's giant. This is a giant centipede.
So
and I was like, what the fuck is this place?
Didn't Australia happen because they were like, we're going to get rid of these prisoners and this place is a disaster, so we're going to just
Yeah.
put them here?
It was
I don't
it was
remember
a penal
exactly.
colony.
Yeah, it was like
That's fucked.
it's like you can either live your life in jail or you can go pioneer this place kind of thing. So they weren't like prisoners. They were
Fair.
like I think I got that right. You
Maybe.
can check if you want.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
I'll check just to make sure.
Just
we're
in
not
case there's some
spreading
Australians
false information.
listening.
I just pissed them off.
They have great metal. Same with
Yeah.
that New Zealand
Bellacourse
band with those
from
young
Australia?
fellers. You know those young guys? Alien Invader or whatever.
Alien Weaponry. They're from New
that's the
Zealand.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking great.
Yeah, those
Love
guys are
that
good.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's like all
Harlot.
about like the indigenous there.
Yeah.
Did you see those like? Did you ever watch like Ultimate Warrior on
No.
Spike or
No.
Deadliest Warrior?
Oh, the one where they kind of look at the different
Yeah,
warriors
the-
from different cultures. Yeah.
I learned so much from that as a kid.
Spike TV, man.
It's actually how I got my history degree.
Is
was
that the one where
watching
they'd
that.
have the mannequin and they'd hit them with swords?
They would
Yeah.
use the different weapons
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the like
And then
culture. Yeah.
They ran out of people.
I remember.
So then, like the last episode was like Hobbit versus Ewok, and the network was like, "Okay,
We're done.
We're done
Yeah.
with this."
I figured you'd have your Spike TV show would have been
Mansers.
no.
Oh,
1,000.
Please God, not. I thought no.
Mom, let me stay up. I have to watch the midget toss.
No, I thought that you would have been into that one, the Forged in Fire,
Yeah, that was a good one.
where they make the weapons.
I was into it until I was working as a blacksmith in like a heritage village for like I think 3 years, and every other person coming in would be like, "You watch Forge and Fire?"
Like,
I'd
not
be like,
anymore.
It became
Not anymore.
uncool.
Yeah, I was like, "Yeah."
My favorite part
no,
about
it's
it.
good. Yeah,
My favorite part about it is that how they term the different things. Like, so when they would test the weapons and they would like smack the sword or something,
yeah.
and they'd be like, "You experienced a catastrophic failure. Unfortunately, you're not moving on to the next round." Catastrophic failure
Yeah.
is such a good term
Yeah.
for like something getting busted.
So about the Australia thing. So they came with 1,000 settlers, 778 of which were convicts.
Oh, okay, so it's over. Yeah,
Yeah, so 192
I knew it wasn't
men.
all.
And
Was it James
5
Cook?
Arthur Phillip.
Arthur Phillip.
Yeah,
you've been had.
he was the captain.
Oh, okay.
Great. Have you heard of the Great Emu War?
No,
What?
no.
Haven't either. Can you look that one up?
Yes, I know this one actually.
You
So
do know this
Oh,
one.
was it, they were literally going to battle with the emus.
Yeah. And
Like
then
they were
lost.
fighting them?
Yeah,
for
and they lo-
territory.
and then they lost.
They
So they,
couldn't.
they
Yeah.
lined up all their guns and then tried to shoot at the emus, and the emus overran them.
They look so evil.
They are.
They do look
They're
so
dinosaurs.
Yeah, they're fucked. I was like sprinting alongside one in Australia, and then it tried to like peck at me, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I thought we were just running.
Okay, buddy. You were sprinting alongside an emu.
Yeah,
those
man.
things are fast, bro.
I'm
Okay.
pretty fast.
Okay. Usain Bolt over here.
All right, I was chasing after an emu, okay, and then he stopped and got mad at me.
Those things are all wheels, man. Those things that they have those giant
they've
dinosaur
got,
wheels.
they've got webbed feet. They don't have wheels.
I mean the legs.
What is
I'm
this,
just,
Neopets?
no, I'm just talking about their legs.
Oh, like you mean like in Looney Tunes where it goes?
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
like the
Okay.
Roadrunner. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where the slang for calling legs wheels came from.
I thought wheels was like how well you can pick up chicks.
No, that's wheeling.
Ah.
That's wheeling, I think. But I don't think it's
No,
how
but
well
they'd
you
say
can. I think it's
wheels.
just if you're wheel.
If you were seen like talking to a girl at high
Oh,
school,
yeah.
they go wheels,
Yeah, wheels. Yeah.
and I'd be like,
'Cause you're
"Motherfucker, it's the lunch lady. I'm not wheeling the lunch lady."
Funny.
Yeah. But no, they lost, and then the colonel like wrote back to the queen, and he was like, "We have lost the emu battle," and she was like, "Are you fucking shooting at this like conserved bird? We need to stop this immediately." And then she got really mad at him, and then he was like,
Preposterous.
"Fuck." But he just hated emus, and he was like insane
Fair.
or something. So
Well,
They're
no,
massive.
So what happened is after World War One, a bunch of
no, I
soldiers
got
were
it right.
given
It's
land.
fine.
Yeah, he hated emus, so he just started wrecking through them with Gatling guns.
Yeah, that's the one. Was it
Gatling
Gatling
guns.
guns?
No, it was just regular rifles.
No Gatling.
They didn't have Gatling guns
Hey,
then.
let's keep
Oh,
the
they
Gatling
did.
to a
Those-
minimum.
Back
were like
then, in Game of
1800s,
Thrones
yeah.
times, did they
Yeah.
have those?
I think the first one was like in like 1830 something.
That's my favorite Joe Roganism, is that he'll talk about Game of Thrones as if it's like real medieval times.
Yeah, no,
He'll be
that's
like,
why it's
back
funny to
then
make
it was
fun of it.
crazy.
That's funny to make
Back-
fun of it.
Back then it was crazy with the dragons.
It's funny to talk about, like, to joke about, like, medieval times being Game of Thrones times.
Yeah, it is
for that
fun.
reason.
Yeah, maybe he's just playing 4D chess there.
I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. A little bit too much.
Oh man,
A little bit too much. What's his supplement called?
AG1.
Super male vitality.
No, that's
that's Alex Jones.
You're mixing up your guys. You're mixing up your Space Marines, buddy. It's a different guy. That's a different cool guy. What did he say the other day? Oh, I heard him talking to the singer of Tool.
Joe Rogan?
Yeah. And,
Talking to Maynard?
yeah, I fucking love listening to him talk about music. It's so funny.
Because he doesn't know what he's talking about?
No, he does. He's fine. But he just has like such like a dad at a barbecue vibe about him. He'll be like, like other bands are like snacks. And then like Guns N' Roses was like a whole meal. And I just was like, oh my fucking God.
Talking to Maynard from
Short
Tool.
King Joe Rogan.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's an alpha brain, by the way.
But
Alpha
just
brain.
short
the fact that he's talking to like
You gotta,
Tool,
you gotta combine them for the
Yeah.
best
Like-
results,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
he's
yeah.
already like,
Yeah.
he's on his high horse, Maynard.
Yeah.
And like you say that to him, that's some 4D jazz, I think. It's unreal. He just goes like, yeah, I guess.
It's almost like we're experiencing like anthropological phenomena in real time here, right? Like we're experiencing, like we're speaking
album
the same
name.
language. We're speaking the same language, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're all speaking the Queen's English, but they have a like social dialect, like the way that they interact socially, like these people in these extreme worlds.
Oh yeah.
They have like completely different social
sure.
dialect.
They have no idea. Yeah, because
I
he's
ca-
like, you can hear him talk about like other things that he like likes or like he knows pretty well and he's fine. But like hearing them talk, these people like about things they don't know so well, it's just like,
Yeah. Dialectics.
yeah,
Yeah, it reminds me of like
like me with women.
ugh,
Am I right, fellas?
Am I right, fellas?
rough.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say actually, I wanted to take us back to Australia there because got to Australia and it just reminded me of this awesome band from Australia,
Sure. Do you mean Matt?
AC/DC.
And I was like, whoa, it's too different.
No. There's a small thrash band from Australia called Harlot.
I don't know.
I know that name.
Yeah, they had this wicked album called Detritus of the Final Age. Okay,
Fucking awesome.
they had like a really cool concept going because all of their records stack on top of each other. Like there's
Well,
Origin.
CDs do that. Yeah.
no, but like the titles, like they were able to do it and stick to it, which I admire because they didn't switch directions or feel the need to switch directions. So the
Okay.
albums are Origin,
Yeah.
Proliferation, Extinction, and then Detritus of the Final Age. And that was the most recent one. And that record is really good, man. Those guys are really heavy, really fast, fantastic band.
What type of metal?
Traditional thrash.
Nice.
He's all about the thrash.
The funny thing
He's
is
in-
I'm not. The
No?
funny thing is that I'm not.
Yeah,
Like,
I've never been a thrash guy.
I was
much.
never a thrash kid either.
I do love like many thrash metal bands, but I'm all over the place, and it's just I think that people again just because you see a guy in white high tops
Mhm.
who plays in a band that has a couple of skanks in the riffs.
What you got on?
I got on my J's. So you see a guy with the white high tops, and in the band, boom, buddy, the white high tops, baby.
No, they're blue.
Are they?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the light. Oh yeah, okay, I see it now. It's like
Her
light-
brother
it's
was
like
like,
a
"Oh,
light blue.
I know who wears those." In
Yeah.
it
And he was like,
basketball?
I don't know. I just thought they look cool.
I said
They're
I thought they
blue.
looked like sharks, so I bought them.
Yeah.
Funny. They do. They are a little sharky.
Thanks. Sorry, you were saying.
There's one more band, okay, that I want to talk about from Australia. Well, we're on
Yeah,
the
please
topic
do.
of Down Under,
Down under.
and that's Livewire. Livewire. So these guys they're thrash-esque, but just absolutely phenomenal musicians. Like I've never heard anything that tight like
Mhm.
that. The boys will, of course, ism it. Okay, like Kyle. The reason we know about them is because they opened for Heathen when Kyle was playing down there in Australia.
Okay. Yeah.
And Kyle sent them to us, and he's just like, "Guys, these guys are insane, right? And
Mhm.
they're just getting started, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're gonna try and bring them up here. We're gonna try and bring them up here
I'll
to play here.
fucking do it. We'll talk.
But
to them.
you
We'll
got to
talk.
hear these guys. Can we play like a little, like just a
Play
little
some
tiny?
Livewire.
Can
Yeah,
you
they
play
won't-
Insecticide?
I don't think we'll get fucked over on YouTube for that. So.
Will you?
No,
No.
probably not. No,
No.
I think it's like big songs.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also it's fair use, right? Like you can play like
Can you? I thought some people get flagged for it now.
only a few seconds of it though. Really?
Okay, I don't know. We'll find.
If you
out.
do, just
yeah, we'll find out.
remove it, edit
Yeah,
it.
we'll just put up a picture of you and say it's his fault.
By the way, this album cover that I'm looking at,
I'll put it up.
immaculate. It's a hot lady in a fast car with an exploding sun in the
I'm
background
gonna
of the city.
come.
It's
Nice.
good.
You have to turn this off. I'm gonna punch someone.
Go home to punch.
That's fucking good.
That is good.
I'm so into those
I'm
vocals.
They do all these harmonized vocals. It's clean vocals.
That's great.
Every single one
I'm
of
in.
them
That's
is
That's
perfect.
awesome. That's
Every
really
single
cool.
one of them is perfect. The
That's cool.
vocals, the bass, the guitars, and the drums
Yeah,
are
yeah.
all. There's no weak link.
No, it's great. It sounds awesome.
It's pretty high tempo too.
Super fast,
That's going in the gym playlist.
buddy.
Yeah.
The whole record.
Yeah.
The
Whole
record.
thing. Dump it in.
Debut record,
Yeah.
immaculate.
That's the first album.
It's their debut. They're like just getting started.
How old are they? They're like our age? Or?
I don't know. I talked to the guys. Like we're gonna bring them up here. They're gonna come play here.
Yeah, do it.
But
If we're still here, then we'll have a talk.
Yeah, send them over to the UK.
oh yeah,
Or
Well,
that. Yeah, if they're.
they probably will. I mean, like I don't know what the deal is. It's hard getting off the island. They said so.
It really is. I know a lot of Australian guys, and like
Isolated.
it's all black metal, and it's just like we wish we could go over there, but what are you gonna do?
That's why Europe is nice because it's just everything's 5 minutes.
There's a great hip hop band from there too called Post Malone.
One?
That's funny. Triple One. They open for Post Malone. I was gonna say like whenever he goes over there, but like they don't really ever come over here. I'd go see them because they're fucking great. And like I got Joaquin into them, and like all of our friends. It's just like super fucking slick. I don't even know how you describe it. It's like very hip hoppy R&B type shit.
Yeah, it is
very good.
R&B-y.
I'm in. I
You
love
might like
R&B.
it. I'll send you some.
I love
It's a little
R&B.
fruity, little sweet.
It's yeah.
It's very
good.
digestible.
They
very
do like a
digestible.
Time After Time cover, Cyndi Lauper. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in. I love R&B.
Yeah. We'll play that, and then we'll let that play us out.
Sure,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
The Cyndi Lauper cover.
Yeah.
It's
If we get
good.
flagged for that one, that'd be funny. Oh, another band that. What are they called? Spirit World. Do you know them?
Yeah.
I
We
fucking
I
love that band.
I mean
Western.
we saw them open for Creeping Death and
I like them.
Oh yeah, is that the one with the bell on the front?
No, that's fucking the Tritonus Bell. What the fuck is that band called?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Shit.
Creeping Death and 200 Stab Wounds came and played Hard Luck Bar, and Spirit World opened for them.
Fuck, really?
Yeah, and they were
Stab Wounds was fucking awesome when we saw them with
Oh,
Gate
yeah.
Creeper. Yeah.
same vibe.
They're from Finland, man. It's really gonna bug me. I know the album name.
You'll
the
remember
band
it.
Name.
You'll remember it as soon as this is over, and then I'm gonna make sure there'll be like an army of neats who call you a poser.
Neats. What the fuck is that?
I don't actually know what that stands for. What
It
does
sounds
neat
like
stand
a-
for?
Well, it's the opposite of elite. So elite was like the big term where you're like, oh, I'm a internet
this is-
patrician or something like that.
Oh, it's like incel internet
Mm.
jargon.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly. It's like proto incel.
Proto incel.
Yeah.
Pre Reddit.
It's a great
Yeah,
band
this is
name,
pre-Reddit.
Proto Incel.
Hey Joaquin,
Yo,
can you pull up what that band's called?
which band?
The album's called The Tritonus Bell,
The Tritonus Bell.
but that's gonna drive me
Tritonus
fucking
Bell.
nuts.
Are you guys gonna be in Wales at all?
Yeah.
There's I know
North
one
Wales.
Welsh band. They're called
Band.
Neck
It's
Deep.
called the Hooded Menace.
That's them.
Hooded Menace.
Hooded
Hooded
Menace.
Hooded Menace. Yeah, I've heard
Yes.
of this
Hooded
thing.
Menace is great.
They're good.
Yeah,
I
they're
love
really
that.
good.
I love that band name.
I like any band that's like that sort of death metal that has like a Magic the Gathering like old school art type style to it. Like all those like
New Raider.
isn't that good?
Oh, yeah, I'm in.
I'm in. Holy. Yeah, there's like 3 of them, and then there's 4 of them, but one guy just does the instrumentals, and then 3 of them sing over it. It's very good.
Yeah, their original music is also like extremely good.
Aussies. But yeah, they can't get over here too easy. And then there's a lot of other bands like that.
It's a long way.
So important for people like us to try and help, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the most we can do, right? Like, we'll book
Yeah.
them, you know? Like, I
Yeah.
told them we can book them.
There was a guy, I won't name any names, but when we first started playing, we had like a folk metal band that this promoter we worked with really closely said he was going to get over from Argentina, and he brought them over. No one came to the show, and then he was like, I can't give you your money. I don't have the money. And then they were stuck here for like 2 months before they could get back.
Oh, brutal. What was
wild.
that band that came from Quebec that played with you guys?
Nordheim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're fun.
Nordheim,
I
yeah.
love those guys.
Those guys are good.
They're
man.
fun.
All right, let's cut the triple one then. We're getting into it here. No, they're fucking awesome. They're like
Really
both these,
nice
like,
guys.
They
Very
like live
fun.
in rural Quebec, and they're just fucking. They work on their trucks.
Yeah.
They play some folk metal.
Really good music.
I've known them forever. When me and Alex were playing our like third show or fourth show as Unbowed, they were like the only two in the audience, and they were just bopping their heads. And
No
it's like
way.
there's a video of it on YouTube. Where we're doing like a Woods of Ypres cover, and like no one else gives a shit, and it's just them. And then we were like, thanks so much. And like they've helped us so often. We broke down in a van in the middle of winter in Quebec, and they came and like helped us out and stuff.
Oh, no way.
I love that.
Yeah.
Gents.
They are humongous gents.
Humongous gents.
Mm-hmm.
Literally too, because they do bodybuilding
Yeah,
competitions.
War Axis
yeah.
into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, shall we end this?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Wrap it up.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully
This is good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Get it going a little bit.
Please come
Oh
back.
man, that was
Come back
great. Yeah,
anytime.
come back.
Oh, yeah.
Bring the other fellas.
Gabe's going to come.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.